but let's not try to dim their light or take away from what those guys are doing with the altitude. But altitude does have different effects. It affects some people sleeping because it affects your breathing. And so your breathing when you're sleeping is uber important. That's why they have machines for people with sleep apnea and different things, because your breathing flow is super important. Well, as we know, sleep and rest is important for recovery, especially on the short turnaround like Miami's on, coming from Boston. So you figure that next day they probably have film and all of this stuff. Like, it's a dud. Like, you're tired, you're mentally drained from a 7-game series. Next day's a dud. So they essentially have 1 day of preparation and recovery to, like, get ready for the next series. Denver's probably been watching them for the longest because they were up 3-0. So they're more prepared. Not that the coach didn't prepare them enough. It's a time, like Spoelstra's great. It's a time thing. It's not like their coach prepared them. It's a time thing. So that's what I'm getting at. And Miami would have had the same amount of time. Unlike other series, both series finished, the NBA Finals start June 1st. It don't start May 21st if everybody's done May 20th. It starts June 1st. That's that. So Miami could have had the time. I thought they looked a little tired. All of a sudden, the shots didn't go. One could say that's the fatigue. One could say they shot their load. Miami, it hasn't been known to be a great shooting team all year. They have some really good shooters, but they didn't hang their hat on shooting the basketball. So if I'm the Celtics in that series, when they're hitting those shots, you're kind of walking back to the locker room. You're like, man, they ain't going to do that again. And they come out and doing that again. However, they kept doing it, but that's the mindset. So they missed the shots tonight. Like I said, I think that was a little bit of fatigue. I think they'll shoot better, but will they shoot as good as they shot against the Boston Celtics? That's a different story, because they shot the lights out versus the Boston Celtics. 40% from the field for Miami, 30% from three. They didn't get it done on the offensive end of the day. Rough shooting night. Jimmy had 13 points on 6 for 14 from the field. Did not shoot a free throw. That was interesting. Jimmy Butler, he's a guy who finds rhythm through the free throw line. He slows the game down for the Miami Heat through the free throw line, allows Miami to get their defense set, and they weren't able to do that, especially early on. Aaron Gordon came out the gate and showed everybody who got on him they were too small. Got to the cup at will. I thought he needed to do more of that, and as the game went on, but he got them guys going out the gate. It was incredible to see. Forced Miami to make some adjustments. But I think the number one adjustment is just getting matched up. There was one play in the first quarter with maybe about 2 minutes and 20 seconds left or so. Michael Porter Jr. fell down. Michael Porter Jr. trails so they walk the ball up. Michael Porter Jr. trails in. Michael Porter Jr. trails in. They walked the ball up. So in walking the ball up, you have uber amount of time to get matched up. Miami still didn't get matched up. And because they didn't get matched up, I can't remember exactly who it was, but one of the smaller guys ended up on Joker. So then you collapse your defense, and Michael Porter Jr. trails in for a three. Initially, it was like transition. They're getting out there pushing. They're getting cross matches. Aaron Gordon dominated. But that was one where we're talking about fatigue. Team could possibly be a little fatigued, because why not get matched up on that play? Again, the one thing that's hurting you is them getting out in transition. And no, it wasn't them scoring in transition. but it was the cross matches they got, and then they took advantage of them quickly. So you have an opportunity to get matched up. That's like a mental error, mental fatigue. Mental errors happen most when you're fatigued. So that, to me, was another sign of fatigue from the Miami Heat, a rollover from the Boston series, which they could have handled a lot sooner. So I thought that was that was really important. That was important to their start. That's how they got going. Because, and quite frankly, like if you look at the numbers, Denver didn't play great offensively. Like, Joker was 12 for 8 from the field, didn't shoot the ball for the first quarter, it seemed. Jamal Murray had a really good game. Him and Joker's two-man game is almost unstoppable. It's about as close to unstoppable as it gets. Obviously, it's much different and better when Jamal is hitting shots, which he's been hitting shots at a high clip. And it was unstoppable tonight. Joker quietly dominated the game with 27 points, 14 assists, and 10 rebounds on only 8 for 12 shooting. Maybe 5 of those shots came within the last 3-4 minutes of the game where he iced the game. And, down the stretch, had the ball in his hands, made everything happen as he does all the time. But he was aggressive to score down the stretch. Catching the ball in the pocket with a 2-on-1 with Joker and Aaron Gordon, good luck. Bam stayed back a couple times. Joker hitting that floater, but if he step up, Aaron Gordon catching a lot. So there's going to be some adjustments that need to be made there, and we can get into those. Another thing that I thought, another person that I thought played a huge role in the game, as he has been all series long, all playoffs long and season long, is Bruce Brown. We've discussed the impact of role players. Like Miami Heat role players outplayed Boston role players last series, which is why the Miami Heat won the series. Like, because their role players severely outplayed Boston's role players. And that's why they won the series. Bruce Brown outplayed just about any role player Miami have today. They won the game. Because again, you win championships 6-11. Now that gets shorter, that shrinks in the playoffs because most coaches go 8 deep, maybe 9. So it shrinks, but the 11 is still important throughout the course of a season. You're talking having the depth to where you don't have to run your guys into the ground, all of those things. That's where you win championships, in the margins. And so Bruce Brown playing the way he played, Jeff Green gave some good minutes off the bench, really good minutes off the bench. But Bruce Brown has been playing absolutely amazing. Bruce Brown actually, I was really good in the two-man game with Joker today as well. Had a couple pocket passes, had a couple floaters, had a couple turnovers in there, but who cares? Who cares? Nobody tripping on that. Bruce Brown is playing really, really, really good basketball. Michael Porter Jr. was only 5 for 15 from the field. 14 points and 12 rebounds, though. Double-double. And that's so encouraging to see Michael Porter Jr. with a double-double, because at times his shot's not working and he doesn't have an impact on the game. 12 rebounds.
And 2 blocks.
2 blocks, which we know he's not known as a defender. He had 1 block on Jimmy. Remember that block. But he's doing something other than just shooting the basketball. And that's very important, especially on the night where he didn't shoot extremely well. Now, something tricky about that. He missed some open looks. And he's not going to keep missing those open looks. So I hope they're going to make an adjustment to make sure he don't get those open looks, because next game, he's going to make those. Works when Denver isn't shooting the ball well. So yes, it worked to a certain extent today. until they start getting the ball in the teeth of the defense to Joker at the mid post. And quite frankly, like, again, their zone worked. But if all else fails, you just throw the ball to Joker at the mid post. The defense has to collapse. If not, he's hitting that shot at a 70% rate. And if they collapse or even overhelp just a tad, we know he's making a play. Had one drop off to Jeff Green. Really nice pass to Jeff Green as he snuck behind the defense. Like, Joker going to make the play out of the high post. I don't think, outside of Steph Curry, I don't think there's a tougher player to zone in the NBA. Steph, because Steph shoot the lights out of it. Like, he's shooting it from anywhere. And if you get them in a bad way just a little bit, you're in trouble with Steph with the ball. And Joker, he makes every play. His touch is crazy. Can shoot it, float, get to the cup. I don't think there's a tougher player to guard in a zone in the NBA than Steph and Joker. So, yes, the zone worked in theory tonight. It got them back in the game. Coach Malone will have something for that next game. He'll have some stuff to combat the zone. I know he will. And again, I think they'll shoot the ball better. And that automatically combats the zone. Because if shots are going up, now you're overreacting. Now you're closing out hard. Now they're getting offensive rebounds too. Makes the game a lot tougher. Now you're playing against their set defense. Their set defense is really good. Transition defense, not great. Set defense, really, really good. So now you're playing against a set defense. It's all a trickle-down effect. So, yes, I expect Miami to try more zone. Yes, I expect that Denver will be prepared for it, better equipped for it, and like I said, most importantly, they will shoot the ball better. A couple more things I thought Denver did really well is they defended without fouling. Defending the Miami Heat without fouling, you're making them score the basketball. And if you make them score the basketball, hasn't been one of their strongest suits all year. It's just making them score. They do a great, I'm not going to say they rely on the free throw like as if they rely on the whistle, but they rely on the free throw to get easy buckets. They rely on the free throw to get their defense set. Their defense is really good. They rely on the free throw because all of a sudden now you start fouling, you collapse, and now those threes that Max Strus is getting are a little more open. Now those threes that Duncan Robinson is getting, he don't have to put the ball on the floor and shoot. They're more open. So they did a great job of defending without fouling and making the Miami Heat score points. And they didn't do a great job scoring points tonight. But you got to give a lot of credit to Denver's defense. To not put Jimmy Butler on the free throw line one time, I mean, that's tough. Jimmy Butler not shooting free throws? Jimmy Butler shoot 9-10 free throws a game. And rightfully so. He gets fouled. Like, Jimmy is great at drawing fouls. So, and it's not flopping. Like, he's not a flopper for fouls either. He is great at seeking out contact, catching the defender in the bad way and seeking out the contact and getting foul calls and going to the free throw line. So that was something that I thought Denver, and I'm sure they emphasized the mess out of it, right? Like, that has to be a huge emphasis against the Miami Heat team. Do not put them on the free throw line. Bam shoots a lot more free throws this year as well. Like, they do a good job of getting fouled. And so for them to not go to the free throw line tonight was huge for Denver. That's what saved Denver on a off night, a not so great offensive performance for them. It's not fouling. Something we talk about all year with the Warriors, but with anyone. Defend without fouling. It's hard for people to score. Like, it's hard to make a shot. I know a lot of internet trolls and stuff talk about, like, oh, man, you didn't make it. It's actually very hard to throw that basketball into that rim. It's a very hard thing to do. If you're absolutely incredible, you do it one of every 2 times. If you're great, it's hard. It's really hard. And they forced them to do that tonight. And they did not do a good job of it. So I thought that was great on Denver's part. Miami. I think Miami has to get more ball screens. They when they were in ball screens, whether it was Kyle Lowry, whether it was Gabe Vincent, I thought they did a really good job in playing out of the ball screens. They're going to have to get more ball screens involved.